Relying on willpower to break a bad habit is not enough. If there are certain habits you want to get rid of because they drain you mentally or they're not conducive to the accomplishment of your goals, what you have to understand is how those habits were formed at first. And what is the mechanism and the science behind building a habit. What you're going to realize is all habits, whether they're good or bad, they all follow the same loop. There's always a cue, there's always a craving, then you have a response, and ultimately you have a reward. And when we do certain things, we're all seeking a reward. Your brain doesn't know if the habit is good or bad. It's just used to the same loop over and over. So your first goal is to identify what is the loop that the habit is currently following and understand that what makes those habits sticking long term. Why you keep doing the same things over and over and you're kind of struggling to get rid of them. So what I'm gonna do for you, I'm gonna bring you in a group call, a coaching call I had with my clients where we discuss habit formation and also understanding the loop, the mechanism behind building a habit, and how to eliminate the bad ones and replace them with good ones. So what I suggest you to do is watch this video till the end. There's gonna be a lot of value, a lot of science-based actions, and some of my clients ask me some questions. I provide the answer, things you can actually go and implement right now. So have a pen and paper ready, take notes, and go apply what you learn. Enjoy. Can you see?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So today we're gonna talk about habits, how you build a habit, how they stick, how to break the one that are holding you back. Let's understand the brain first. Your brain is a fucking junkie. Your brain just wants the pleasure. That's what the way the brain is wired for. Is wired for reward. Okay, that's what your brain loves. When you do something, your brain is addicted to the feeling that comes from it, the reward. Your brain is a reward-seeking mechanism, right? And think about like a habit. I'm gonna explain like how you start. Okay, think about something you have, something you do right now that is habitual. Great example is brushing your teeth. Okay. So what happens is like maybe it's 9 p.m. for you. It's a time, you see a time, okay, it's the time to go brush my teeth, grab your toothpaste, the brush, you start brushing your teeth in a certain way. It's almost the same movements every time. And boom, you repeat again the next day. And now you don't really have to think about brushing your teeth because once you see the time, it's like the pattern is automatic. Whether you want to do it or you don't want to do it, you still do it. And it's the same cycle every single day. We can relate to that. Exactly, right? So step one, you just have to do the habits. And then it stores. This is the interesting part about the brain, right? This is not a presentation about the brain. We know the brain has different area. And habits, they actually store in one area of the brain, which is called the basal ganglia. That's why you do the same thing over and over. It's because now it gets stored in that part of the brain. Think about it like a part of the brain where it just stores your habits. And now your brain doesn't have to think. It understands the loop, and boom. Now you just do it unconsciously. That's why it's called habit. You execute it without giving it the second thoughts. And it becomes automatic because it runs without effort. Now the habit is set. That's why, again, the brushing your teeth. At the beginning, remember, sometimes you forget. Sometimes you have a lot of resistance. Sometimes you skip. But if you keep doing it over and over and over and over, it's solved and you don't think about it. That's how the habits are formed. And every time you do the same loop, what it does like it's reinforce the habit. Think of it like welding. If you put like metal pieces together and you weld, it's like the more you weld, the more the metal are bind together and become solid. So the more and more you do it, the more it's stored, and the harder it gets to break it. Right? But like metal, you can eventually break. Okay, and this is what we're gonna find out. Now let's understand how the habit is created at first. Okay, let's break down a habit. Okay, let's say for example, we're gonna take a cookies, junk food. Okay, let us someone comes from work and he eats a cookie. That's the habit. First of all, there's a cue. There's this is the same cycle that applies to any habit, good or bad. There's a cue, a craving, a response, a reward. A cue is what trigger the habit. And that can be anything from you having an internal shift, you feeling stress, you feeling bored. Okay. Typically, those are the two main things why we have bad habits: stress and boredom. Either bored or you stress. If you think the bad habits at its core, this is the two, either stress or bored. But also the cue can be time, a certain time of the day, a certain moment of the day. For example, for some people, it's like as soon as they come back from work at home, that is the cue for them, right? And now there's a craving. So someone comes from work, okay, that's the time of the day, that's the cue. The craving is, oh, they desire something. Now they want to feel better. So there's a craving for feeling better. And the only thing they can think about is the cookies or the damn cookies, right? So now they come, they stress, they think about the cookies. Now that triggers a certain craving. There's a gap. Because if you watch if you understand dopamine, you're gonna learn it when you're gonna read the book Dopamine Nation, but I also present in my video. When you think about something, a reward, then you have a little spike, then the dopamine goes down, and then it will go up again once you get the reward. So you, the fact thinking about the reward gives you a little spike at first. This is why you go and actually do it. So that's a craving. Now there's a response. This is the action you take basically. Well, for some people, it's so easy. They just go and open the fridge and they get the fucking cookie. And now they eat the cookie, of course, and there's a reward. They feel good about it. And they repeat again the next day, right? If you break any habit, that's the same. Think about also scrolling before bed. The cue is when you're in bed. That's the time of the day where you start. You lay down in bed, you're about to sleep, but now your brain know, oh fuck, maybe I'm missing some reels out there. Maybe there's a reel is gonna make me laugh, something that is funny, or maybe I'm gonna see someone's hot on Instagram. So you think about a certain word. Okay, what is the response? You grab the fucking phone and you start scrolling. Now your brain gets dopamine hit from it. Boom, you drop your phone and you repeat again, and that becomes a habit. So, and do you see the pattern for every single habit? There's a cue, something that trigger. There's a craving, a desire for something. Now there's a response. Then you got the reward, right? The response is basically the habit that we want to eliminate in our case. Now, why do actually, why habits tend to stick? Well, it's because of these four elements. If you break it down, it's because it's obvious, okay? It's attractive, it's easy, and it's satisfying. Okay, obvious mean it's your environment. It's like it's in front of you. Okay. Attractive is actually like I really want to do it. Like you want to go on social media, you want to eat the cookies. Easy, it's like it's right in front of you, like easily accessible. There is no friction. And four, it's satisfying because it gives you the dopamine hit. If you combine all of these elements together, no matter if the habit is good or bad, it's gonna stick. Think about again your phone. Oh, you go to bed, the phone is next to you. You want to grab your phone. What do you have to do? Put your hand there, grab your phone, and use it. That's why it sticks, is because it's so obvious. You can see it. You can easily reach it. You actually want it, and you get the dopamine, you get the reward from it. Right? Do it over and over again, just to out of topic. This is why, again, all of this, everything that is hard or require effort, we feel challenging, and your brain is like, no, 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 because it's used to easy path. Okay. Now we understand how habits are formed, and we understand what makes it stick. The good thing is, if you want to eliminate a bad habit, we have to do the opposite of what make them stick. Right? So now, instead of make it obvious, you make it invisible. Instead of make it attractive, you make it unattractive. Instead of make it easy, you make it difficult. Instead of making satisfying, you make it unsatisfying. Let's put, like, the cookies example. Well, how fucking easy it will be for someone to stop eating cookies if there is no cookies at home at first. Right? Think about any junk food you want to get rid of. You just don't buy the junk food anymore. And it solves the problem. Now we eliminate one element. Okay? Invisible. I would say unsatisfying and unattractive. It's kind of the hardest to focus on, but invisible and easy, visible and easy, it's like you can play with them, especially with your environment. And there's a way you can trick your brain for like satisfying or unsatisfying. I want to explain in a bit, but let's just take the invisible. Just don't have the trigger anymore. If you want to have, like, you don't want to stop eating cookies, get rid of the fucking cookies at home. Okay? Another element is make it difficult. That means you have to increase you need to add friction. Okay? Think about, like, if you have like gold, and I'm like, oh, there's a gold in front of you. Okay, go and get it. You will get it because there is no, it's very easy. Whereas if I put the same piece of gold at the bottom of a lake and I tell you there's sharks and snakes, go and get the fucking gold. You're gonna be like, no, 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 fuck off. Right? It's the same thing, but now because we're adding friction, because we make it difficult, you don't even want it anymore. Right? But we're talking about the same piece that you initially crave for that. So now, knowing these elements, well, also we can make it unsatisfying. And that can be tied to your identity, of course. So I think about, like, a cookie. Yes, it's gonna taste good if you tell yourself you can see this way. One moment, let me just finish that, and I respond to you. It can taste good, and you like it's satisfying, or you can be like, okay, fuck. If I eat that cookies, I'm gonna be storing body fat. And if I store body fat, no one will respect me again. So now it's the same elements, but what we attach to it is completely different. We're moving, like, from a reward to a pain. That's why I stopped alcohol. At first, it was like, fuck, I'm gonna get drunk, I'm gonna start talking to girls, and then I'll be like, bro, actually, no, you drink alcohol and you feel like shit the next day. You cannot even lift heavy. On top of that, like, I don't know, you're wasting your money on something that is stupid. So I start, like, painting an image of that habit, which is not satisfying again for me anymore. It's not even attractive. I don't want it. So it becomes easy for me to get rid of it. Right? So you can play things like that in your mind. Someone who's gonna scroll before bed. It's like, yes, you might get the reward, but at the same time, you need to convince yourself that, okay, I'm gonna play, I'm gonna delay my sleep, I'm gonna wake up feeling like shit, I'm gonna be demotivated from workout, I'm gonna stay out of shape. Right? You need to kind of be playful with the consequence. Like, use your imagination. Okay? Ayman, do you have a question?
Yeah, bro. So and whenever I'm traveling often, whether it's Medellin, Miami, Marbella, cities where you can be in an environment that is filled with entrepreneurs, high energy, health oriented. Also, there are a ton of vices that you can fall victim to if you're lonely, tired, or hungry, emotionally volatile situations. And obviously you're in Bali, so you will get it. How do you control the triggers that are in front of you and easy access all throughout the day um, when you live in an environment where you can pick? You know what I mean? Does it make sense?
Yeah, it's the same way you go to a grocery store, but why you go and choose the fruits and meat, whereas there's a ton of junk food. It's always gonna be there. It's where you bring your attention. That's what going. That's what will determine your next step. Okay, so it's not because it's there that you necessarily have to be a victim of it. And as I say, you can just play with one of these elements. Okay, if it's you cannot play on the visibility, it's like it's there, it means it's visible. Okay. Now, how can you make it unattractive and unsatisfying? That's what you need to ask yourself. And how can you make it difficult also? Is it like reducing your exposure to the environment where devices are? Like if you say you don't want to drink alcohol, for example, and you go and spend the whole day at the bar, it's gonna be hard, right? So this is where, like, choosing your environment strategically is important. This is also why knowing your goals is important, right? That's where mindset build up comes into place as well, right? If you focus on the cue, the trigger, I mean, you're putting yourself in trouble, right? Yeah, it can be distracting, but you can also have the mental power to shift your focus somewhere else based on what you want, what is aligned with your goal, right? Can you give, like, more specific example so we can try to break it down?
Um, yeah,
He went to
bro,
Medellin,
it's
he worked in Parque Lleras, then he got 4 holes at the house. That's what happened.
I don't know if I want to go and give real examples, yes, but yeah, bro, it's just like
Yeah, bro.
you're
Let's be straight. I live in Medellin too. Okay, let's say, like, you're working in Parque Lleras. Like, we all know Parque Lleras here, right? And now there's like 4 respectful women next to you, right? Everyone is like $40.
no,
And you're like, fuck, I'm gonna get like 5 at my place.
bro, I'm laughing, but this is it's so it's the bro. I'm
I
laughing,
know,
but
I know.
no
All my
ounce of
friends,
this
that's
is
what I
fun.
do. All my friends, like, that's what I do, bro. Like they work with fire, like, bro, check. Like, bro, shut the fuck up, right?
Honestly, bro, it's this is a now it's just something that has been an ongoing just to your point, right? We're talking about habits and obviously focusing your attention. One constraint that I've had traveling to nice places and working from there is falling victim to, vices like,
Well, but that can be also tied to your level of personal development. You haven't done enough personal work, and this is why also, like, following a set of non-negotiable habits and fitness is gonna help you. But other than that, I'm gonna share my perspective on, like, why I'm the guy who can go to Parque Lleras, not bring 5 chicks every night at home, because I just make it unattractive to me. If you think about, like, it's there,
yeah.
okay. How can make it difficult? How can you make it unattractive? Well, at the end of the day, bro, tell yourself they fucking hoes. There's been like 10 guys on them the same day. That's how I make it unattractive. For me, it's more than enough. So it's the same chick. I can be thinking about how amazing she is, how amazing she look. But now I found, like, bro, actually, it's probably like 10. Or I create a story, frog. She might want to drug me and steal my organs. Because that happens, right? So you want to give always a story to your brain where it's like, you know what? Fuck it. Be creative. Sometimes that's what it takes, imagination. Like imagination is your most powerful tool. You need to use it for against you or for you, right? So trick your imagination. But again, this is like this is gonna be related more to your personal development, and you gotta start with the small habits first. Like if you cannot control your pulses on the small thing, you're gonna always fall victim to you know the lust or whatever sin you wanna call, right? I'm not saying like stop having fun for the rest of your life, right? But you wanna be more intentional with it. Maybe you plan, right? Maybe okay, you go see a chick on Friday night, only and the rest of the day you locked in. The rest of the week you locked in, right? There's nothing wrong with that. As long as you're intentional and you are in control, that's what it takes, right? But let's give like more concrete example on like what's applying to you right now. Let's say you struggle with social media on your phone before bed. Well, your phone is gonna be there. How can you make it difficult? Don't sleep with your phone in the same room. Right? That's a way to make it difficult because the moment your brain start to think, oh fuck, I need an effort to go and get the phone. It's like that's where you're like, okay, fuck it. Right? Maybe you need to charge your phone not next where you sleep again, but on the other side of the room. And you have the alarm on. So whenever there's an alarm, now you go, actually have to get out of bed and turn off the alarm and start your morning routine. That's a way to make it difficult, right? But the last thing is keep in mind that your brain will always seek a reward, right? So I learned that the best way to get rid of the bad habits actually to replace it with a good one. So let's say if you want to get rid of scrolling before bed, well, charge your phone somewhere that's far from where you sleep. And instead of having your phone next to you, have a book, have a journal. Think about the habits that is aligned with your goal, with the person you want to become. Right? That is way simpler because your brain will always have that craving of like I need something, bro. Like you have to feed me. Like okay, here's the book for you, and you keep repeating that over and over, and that becomes a new habit. And if you want to reinforce that, you can be stacking good habits on top of good habits. That's what happened in my morning routine. I start by waking up early, then I add the electrolytes. After that, I add the push-up. After that, I add like the journal, the meditation, and the walk. And now it becomes like just part of me, right? So think about like eliminate the bad habits, replace it with a good one, and stack good habits on top of it. So it reinforces the loop. Your brains learn that okay, we have to follow a sequence.
Dude, 1,000%. Bro, I mean, you hit home. One thing that resonated with me, what you just said, and it has worked for me so well in the past, is using imagination. Before making a bad decision, sometimes all it took is future pacing what the next day, 30 minutes could look like if the right decision was made. And it has worked in the past. So thank you for mentioning that. And also,
Yeah, but
obviously, the rest. But yeah.
you also because the cues trigger like a almost a reactive response in your brain. So you want to interrupt that. So let's say you want to reach you see the time and you want to reach your phone, you need to be like, no, 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 stop. Wait. So you want to interrupt the moment between the craving and the action. That's why you want to pause and reflect and broaden your perspective. And that's not gonna take like and this is where we have to be honest. It's not gonna take like a one day thing. It's gonna take like constant work till it becomes your identity. And what I want you to do is you have to hold yourself accountable. Like accountability is the best way to get rid of bad habits and replace them by good ones. You see, you need to make it unsatisfying again in a way where if you miss on the good habits, if you stuck like in a bad habit, well, There's gonna be like, penalties. It's like what I say on the group. You need to send your macros and the week. And next week I'm gonna be more strict with that, guys. Like I'm not saying like, send your treadmill. I want a screenshot of your steps and your macro. Like this is English I'm speaking. It's not Arab, it's not Spanish, it's not Chinese, right? It's not Russian, it's fucking English. I want a screenshot of macros and I want a screenshot of steps, right? I'm gonna do it again so you see what I mean, right? It's not complex. I want both. And if someone miss on steps, this is how you make it an attractive. We add 2000 again. And if you miss that, that's double again. So you better not miss 2 days in a row. That's how you make it unsatisfying, because now like you almost have to pay. Oh, you know what? I should be asking you guys for your bank accounts, credit card, and every time you miss something, I charge you 500. How about that? Trust me, you're never gonna miss a habit again. Or maybe like, just find someone that's at home to hold you accountable. You're like, hey, I want you to hold me accountable of this. If I don't do that before the end of the day, I pay you $50 or $10 or like 100 dirham, whatever. But you need to start putting consequences on your action now. And the best way, the scariest way, is have money involved. No one wants to lose his money. Let's be honest, right? So you want to start by writing down the habits you want to get rid of, and actually have a process for junk. Like this is your job for the next 24 hours. Think about something you want to eliminate, right? Ayman, you write it, you send it, and you confirm that and I'm gonna actually have that on your trainer eyes. Because now you're gonna have like, the check. So whatever it's the thing you want to work on, let's work on 2 habits at a time. So if it's something before bed, you have to address it. If it's something in the morning, if it's something during the day, if you tend to have like junk food, like whatever is the habit, please screenshot that. I want you to rememorize that cue, craving, response, reward. Identify what is your cue. That's the first step. Is it the time of the day? Is it a specific hour? Is it like once you complete certain thing after work? Is it like when someone is telling you something specific? Is it like when you're listening to something? Is it a certain music? I don't care what is it. Is it a certain location in your house? Whatever. Is it something visual? For example, people like, they see the cigarette. Oh, fuck, I want to smoke. Whatever is the habit, identify the cue, like write it down. Okay, I want to bed, I feel this way, I read for my phone, and this and that and that. The best way to start overwriting this habit is by identifying this loop at first, especially the cue, because the response is basically the habit. So you need to work on the cue. Then attack one of these. Make it unattractive, make it hard to see, make it difficult to reach out. And this is one of the best quote, like, I've read for a while, is first you build the habit, then the habit builds you. First you build the habit, then the habit builds you. Okay, guys, like, it start by that. Like, you need to take control of you. You need to take control of your routine. And this is why, like, I'm a big believer in routines and habits, because that's what shape you. It's not the fucking diet, it's not the fucking workout, it's not the environment, it's your habit. And one thing I want to add also about habit, um, and I read it like last time, it said the desire to belong is always stronger than the desire to improve. So that means that whatever you know you want to be working on, if you don't surround yourself with the right people, you're always gonna feel like you're always gonna feel bad about it. It's like you want to stop drinking alcohol with all your friends they drink. It's like, no, you don't want to feel like the anti-social guy. So you need to be mindful of your environments. Like your environment have to be supportive of your goal, right? So I want you to start scanning your environment, and is what you're trying to do align with the people you surround yourself with, the places you go? Because if there's gonna be a gap, you're gonna have that internal resistance all the time. But this is why as well the community is there. So you engage with people who share the same goals. And whenever you finish to complete the habits or all of your habits, you need to check that, have a visual indicator. This is why the trainerize has to be done as soon as the habit is done or by the end of the day. Not the next day, guys. Not at the end of the fucking week. Because we want to trigger something in the brain. Okay, tick, tack, job done, job done, job done, job done. And whenever you do the job, you need to actually congratulate yourself in your head. Don't be like fucking weirdo, okay? Don't only start screaming at home. But like in your head, you need to have a mental conversation that, okay, I'm actually building the man. I'm actually this man. This is why, again, having the identity work is important because you want to know, like, who's the guy you're trying to become? What are his habits, his way of thinking, his belief, whatever. If you haven't done this work, please go and back to the fundamental at first. Because habit will always stem from identity. And whenever, like, you change a habit, you need to reinforce the identity as well. It's always identity, behaviors, action. People trying to change the action alone never gonna work. And if you want to change the behavior, it has to stem from your identity. So when you do a change, a positive change, you create the positive habits, or you replace a bad one by a good ones, you need to have the feedback loop and tell yourself, okay, I'm doing this because I'm this type of guy. I am this guy. That's how you reinforce the loop. Habit, identity, habit, action, result. That's where you keep going. So you need to have like that feedback loop talk. Or when you sit down before bed the next day, you write down your wins and you remind yourself like why you're doing it. Because if I tell you, you just go and read a fucking book before bed and you don't have a meaning to that, it's like, why? No, there's a meaning because I want to be this man, and this man, that's what he does before bed, right? It makes sense. You don't track your macros because Ibrahim told you to track your macros. You track your macros because you try to become a certain guy, and this guy, right, in the parallel universe, you are this guy already. That's what he does. So just copying his habit. Okay, I do that not because I need to do it. It's because no, it's normal, right? It's the fucking norm to track my macros because that's what I want to become. So that's why I say like the habits are there, but you need to have that feedback loop constantly in your head. So you wake up, you get rid of the bitch talk, whatever you want to call it. You do the work, you check, wins, your minds start to trust you, and you reflect. Okay, good. I'm doing that because it's aligned with who I'm becoming. Perfect. What is bad habits? Let me identify that, break the cycle, and replace with something positive. So fucking easy, guys. I stopped smoking weed. I stopped drinking alcohol. I stopped drinking video game. Stop watching porn. Like anyone can get rid of any habits. It takes work and willpower, but use your brain, use the accountability, and that's it. That's how you improve 1% better. Don't work on like 50 habits at a time, please. Pick two that you're like, okay, fuck it. I need to stop that. And you work, right? So everyone has to select two things, one or two things to work on. And don't tell me you have nothing to work on because I don't believe you. So identify that, write down the loop, write down how you're planning to break it, by what you're going to replace, and implement that like from today. Right? I'm starting tonight. My phone is going to be charged here, and my bed is on the other side. So that's my commitment. Question. You have 10 more minutes. So
That was a good presentation, by the way.
thanks.
Second that. No, 100%.
Thank you.